Yo, what's up, guys? I wanted to give you guys a warm welcome to today's coaching. Today, we are actually coaching another person. His name is Araik. As you guys can see right now, he's a Platinum 2 Emerald 2 peak Darius 1 trick playing on the Uni server. We are for sure gonna find a lot of things that could also make you improve at the game. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Do you have any game that you feel like that would be the best to review? Like if you look at that, you know, overall, like
Yeah, we can go a bit up. I played the game today.
the
That
Yasuo?
11-8-5. Yeah. I think that was carryable by me, but I just fucked up.
I think if I look at these, I personally would prefer. I mean, there's a 6-9-1-2. I think if I look at all of these
We can
games,
we can watch the 6-9 as well. Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to ask, you know, like, however, you know, we can look at that one as well, because I think what we should do is like we should take like one of the more cruel laning phases, which you might face more in the future. Kind of look at a game like that, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
we
sure.
could maybe look for like the later stages of the game or like mid game for that one, for example. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Out of all of these matchups, Fiora, Yasuo, Garen, and Gragas, do you have one where you say like you struggle the most in particular with? If you look at all of these matchups,
Maybe Gragas.
Gragas, alright. I also think that.
Against Fiora, I lost hard because I got level 1 cheesed by Thresh, then
Mhm.
another invade by Thresh, and
Yeah,
I wasn't
then
ready for it.
yeah, that's kind of like whatever then. Well, let's go into the Gragas game. I feel like one thing I wanna say first is looking at your runes into Gragas. You have like two kind of options, you know. Then you can either play like Second Wind Conqueror, right, as you did, or you play for Stormware Surge, Second Wind. There's one third
Yeah, I
option.
think I just wasn't sure if it's Gragas top or not.
I see. But what I would do is that's also like it's a good decision to always take runes that work into multiple like champions and matchups. I mean, this game it should be Gragas top, you know. But if you're not sure, it's obviously better to always take runes that work into both of the matchups you could possibly face, right? What's really important to note though is that first of all, like as I said, you know, there are like three ways how you can play this matchup in terms of like runes. It's as I will say it one more time, like the Conqueror with the Second Wind and the Unflinching as you did. Then the second option is Stormblade Surge, Second Wind and Unflinching. And the third option would be Conqueror, Nimbus Cloak, Celerity. So I would say if you're really confident, you go Conqueror, Nimbus Cloak, Celerity. The easiest way how to play this matchup, and also looking at enemy draft, you know, is probably playing Stormblade Surge. Even though they basically have 4 melee champions and Conqueror has a lot of value, but yeah, it just kind of depends, you know. And I think that Stormblade Surge Second with this game is so huge. If you snowball, like you can't be stopped, you know. Therefore, I think into Gragas for future games. Obviously, you didn't know, you know. But even if you know you wouldn't be so sure who's really top, I think the Stormblade Surge is really the goal here. Gragas matchup overall, a little bit of like a roundabout when it comes to the matchup is you kind of like want to use your E only if you can kind of like grab him either in his E, or you can kind of like grab him after he eat you as a buffer, you know. You never want to really like start off with E, because then he can either just E out, you know, or he can combo you and then still walk out. And also if you E him insta to open up, usually what ends up happening is that you then can't really hit your Q unless you actually EQ. And if you EQ, he E's out after, and the trade is like not that bad, but Gragas E in terms of trading for Darius E is absolutely not something that you want to have, right? Other than that, a Gragas matchup, one of these matchups where you really want to make sure that you get in. And yeah, basically one of the cruel things about this matchup is as well that you're kind of forced to go mercs in drafts like that, where enemy team has a Leona or like some major CC that could fuck you over, not cuck you over, but then you also want to go mercs, you know. And Gragas E also is not just a pure knock-up. So that means once you get mercs, you will also make sure that you kind of like, how do you say, like you minimize the duration of the time you're actually like stunned, you know, if that makes sense. Exactly.
I think I went Merc's first item this game.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah, that's huge. That's perfect. Early lane into Gragas is always really interesting. If Gragas plays Stormblade Surge, you can zone him level 1, okay? Because his trade, if he E's you, the trade will never be that cruel. And if Gragas is forced to E you, let's say you're like zoning him here, in like a bit, like in this area, and he's forced to open up with E right there, right? Then what eventually ends up happening is that he won't have E once he will go for the minions when they are low enough for him to be in XP range. So you might lose like 150 HP, max 160, maybe a bit more, but you will have D-Shield, you will have second wind, and he will lose the first 3 minions, which will basically guarantee you, obviously, like, prio and all of that, okay? So you can do that if he doesn't play Comet, or if he doesn't play, like, Electrocute, Ignite, which is, I know, it's really uncommon for Gragas players to play anything else besides Stormbearer Surge after the change, but that's, like, still, like, a good knowledge overall to have, that to know when you can actually zone in that matchup. Also, another thing that I want to point out is, you always got to make sure that where your jungler is pathing, it will depend where your jungler is pathing, the way how you play your level 1 as well. If your jungler is full clearing bot side and you don't have any info on enemy jungler, then in certain matchups you don't want to zone, obviously, right? In this particular case, you can zone though, because it's a Sylas. He will most likely start blue, and then he will kind of like full clear, so he will not kind of surprise you level 3 topside, okay? But those are also thoughts that you need to make in your head before the game starts, because then, if you already think about it that way, then you would have already taken a different approach. I know, like, you're working and, like, you know, this, that, you know, and you play whenever you have time, and sometimes you just play to play, and you don't want to play to, like, fully exhaust yourself on top of it, you know. I totally understand. I think that's the biggest problem a lot of people have, that they play League in their free time, and it's a game they want to play whenever they want to have fun, and they don't want to like fully try hard and put every possible bit they have into it, because it's so exhausting. Like, you just simply sometimes can't do that. And then some streamers come around with the privilege that they have, that they can play the game every day and say, yeah, but you should just think in the loading screen and stuff, you know. And that is, you know, I understand that absolutely. But if you really want to climb as much as possible, then you can also reduce the amount you play, but the games you play as you do, just on full focus from every second, already using the timing loading screen to think how you want to play your lane, this, that, all right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's also really important, but that's fine, you know. Like, it's totally fine. You came back from a little bit of a break, stuff like that, you know. Then, when it comes to zoning, if you have the tendency to zone, what you can do is, like, either, like, you would walk level 1 through into this bush, okay, and then you would walk in like that, or you would kind of just what Raider does, and what I do sometimes, is I put a ward here, and then after I put the ward here from this bush, I would walk like this. And then once the minutes are low,
downside.
Exactly,
okay.
from the downside. Because why that even happens? Why do you think, like, do you want to zone like that? What do you think is, like, your guess?
Wow. Why do I want to zone from the downside?
Why would you want to, like, approach it like this, or like this? Why do you think?
Shit, I have no idea.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Let's just see what happens when you approach, like, the way how you did. Okay.
I usually zone when I can to prevent from XP, but I don't know what's the advantage of going from under. Maybe he doesn't expect it.
No. Yeah, partly. Yeah, but what do you think? Let's just watch what happens. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, in a way. Okay, now it works. In a way, like, the minions would aggro you earlier, usually. And since you take minion aggro, these minions stop hitting these minions. So what eventually ends up happening is that you might be the one losing XP. Because, or, like, not XP, but, like, it could be XP. It depends how you zone and in what area you are.
Gets faster, yeah.
And also, like, you're just shoving the wave too fast, you know?
I understand, okay.
And you also take damage. So the trade that you get from zoning could be influenced by the way how you walk into it. If you walk into it like this, and you zone him, and then you're there, then he has to stand here as well. Or he walks like this and he dies, you know?
Yeah,
which kind of happens here as well, because he's, like, approaching the lane wrong. Like, he's walking like this while you're zoning him, which is wrong. If he just walks out, he starts E, and he gives you auto E, and you're taking that much damage from the minions, then, like, you're gonna lose so much HP. And that's kind of, like, a bit rough. He's misplaying it, but so are you. And it's important to acknowledge it, because once you will play in higher elo, you will play against better enemies. And then things like that will really ruin your lane. Like, look, he has Q start, and he's still actively walking into your turret's direction, right? Like, into your favorable direction, which is wrong by him, right? So it doesn't really matter because he's misplaying, but in other games it would matter a lot.
I think we go 1 for 1 here.
Okay, so what's also really important to understand is it's fine to ghost there, and it's totally fine to, like, get his flash, right? League of Legends.
But I should have stopped there, right?
Exactly. Because, like, League at the moment, like, let's have League of small advantages. Because the thing is, the lane from here is completely unplayable for him. Like, he can only last it with Q anymore. He might have TP. Some Gragas players even play with Ignite, and then they're even more chopped. And what's really important to understand is, well, your jungler is perfect both sides. You got both of the sums of the Gragas. Since you always have vision of your jungler, you always like have info on your jungler. So if he starts blue, you know he will afterwards like bot, right? If you play like blue side, so the side where you own right now. So what eventually ends up happening is you get his flash, and you're putting yourself in a disadvantage. Even if you would kill him there, like trade 1-for-1, I mean, then you're still putting yourself in a bad situation. Because enemy jungler, since you don't have info on him, right, he could either be pathing bot side right now, or he could be pathing top side. But you have 100% info on where your jungler is pathing. So you are not going to have a 2v2 on a flashless Gragas. But if you just take his flash, it will be harder for them to kill you on a gank, okay? It will be harder for him to snowball in his lane. He would need to insta-TP back. You're in a favorable position because you're still full HP, and you have flash. You have flash means if Sylas paths top lane, you can't die. Okay.
I think this 1-for-1 was not good because he has TP.
Exactly. And what else is not good about this 1-for-1?
The wave state.
Exactly. The wave state is a bit horrible, you know that. And so you went from even though you played it like fairly like a bit sloppy, you know, a bit wrong, you know, the way how you approach the wave and stuff. You still got the better of, because Darius is who Darius is, and some people don't respect him level 1. And then it's really important to be like, okay, I played my level 1 wrong, but I still got his flash and I got a huge trade. I don't need to push my advantage faster, because that is like one of the most cool things about League of Legends, is that usually in League of Legends, the biggest advantages get drawn from the smallest advantages that just get pushed slowly into slowly bigger and bigger ones. Okay, you will never like really rarely like you can like push a small advantage insta to a big one, you know. And therefore that's totally fun, you know. That's totally fun. You decide to go for boots, that's fine as well. Even though, wait, let me see. Oh wait, you're on zeros. Yes, yeah, you have no money when you're dead, right? Yeah, you have 300. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing else you can buy. And in League of Legends, one of the most important things that is like really important as well, especially as a Darius player, is it's not like season 6, season 5 anymore, where like the better top laner kills his opponents. That's usually like not the case anymore, because you kind of like don't need to kill your opponent anymore on top lane to actually gain advantages, to gain prior, to gain tempo advantage, to get a lead. You don't have to do that anymore, you know. And just if you think about it, that small mistake that you did there completely like cooked your entire game. But it's still fine. Still, on the other hand, if you would, for example, pay more attention to it, even whatever happens. But if you put more like detail to it, that you know that your jungler is pathing bot side, you would play a bit more passive. You would be a bit less stressed to kill the Gragas there, and on top of that, you would remind yourself, I have no info on Sylas. And then you would be more aware before you even do that play that you're the one that might get punished then. Because the wave set is how it is right now. Sylas could also surprise you, so like on the slow push or whatever, you know. Like you could just be there if you cleared like differently or whatever, you know. And like the more you trade right now, like if you would be aware, okay, I have no info on Sylas, my jungler can't postpone the 2v2 or like match the 2v2, then you would not take these trades. You would be like, okay, my wave state is fixed again, I made a mistake, I will slowly try to recover. Because by trading more and more and more right here, it's more unfavorable for you, because once again, enemy jungler is pathing topside, yours isn't.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm weak-sided.
More or less, you know, more or less. And therefore, you gotta try. Enemy top also had R5 probably in that game, because he's red side, you're blue side. So you gotta take into accountability. Enemy team, I blind picked. Enemy team used their R5, their counter pick, to counter pick top side. So if I just manage to go ahead slowly, or I go ahead or even, then it's still winning. Because they are the ones either like playing for top side, the one or the other way, because they are R5 top. So that's already like such an advantage from draft that you're dragging by blind picking your champion, compared to like Gragas taking their 5, since they also have to blind pick other roles at some point then. Because like, as you know, red side always has the counter pick and blue side has the first pick.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Also in that moment, you also want to like try to make sure that you don't queue that wave, because like just the faster you push the wave in that moment, obviously your minions are already a bit damaged, you're missing one there as well. But in that moment, you just want to make sure that you last it, because the faster you shove that wave back, and the more soon the wave is slow pushing back towards you in that current state, the more vulnerable you're to the more vulnerable you are at all, and the more opportunities you create for Silas and Gragas to punish you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Just saying, you know, that's why you don't Q in that
Yeah,
moment,
yeah.
and you would just last it. The wave is still like somewhat fine because they are still fairly damaged, but yeah. So again, like you use your E, you should not use your E at all there, because like you also make yourself even more vulnerable, since if you don't have E, you're always dead on that gank.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Do you see?
EQ for heal.
Exactly, but do you see how fast your wave is slow pushing back towards him now? And that's all because of that Q as well, you know.
Kills me as well.
That's fine, you know.
If I remember correct.
It's fine. It's fine if you do these mistakes right now. It's not fine if I would make that. And I do this still sometimes as well, because I'm sometimes I myself I get tilted and then I try to play faster or like whatever, you know what I mean? But see, like now you're doing technically the right thing. Like now you're just slow pushing, you know. And because you don't have vision, Gragas could have stayed, you know, now you're just last hitting. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Now some may not agree and say, why would he only want to be last hitting? Right now he needs to get a base because he's low HP. But no, you're not really vulnerable against the Gragas in that wave. You will always get that wave out, especially if you get level up from it. And yeah. Or like not out, but like, you know what I mean? Like at least like you will still get the wave out in the way of like you will get all the XP in the minions.
I think he had kill potential there. I don't know why he didn't fully commit to it.
He would have needed to play it a bit better. He would have needed to dodge your Q, and that's a really decent like risk. Okay, how much gold did you have? 800. That's your mercs, no?
No, it's 950.
950, right? Oh, sorry, not.
Yeah,
So
that's why I only bought the magic resist stuff.
Yeah, I see. No, it's fine, It's fine. I forgot that they buffed it one day, or like nerfed it, you know, then my numbers are sometimes still old. Fine, you're last hitting, that's okay. And now, once again, like, how do you want to play this wave? Since Gragas based?
Slow push.
Exactly, slow push. Why do you want to slow push?
So he loses more minions and XP.
Exactly, so he loses as much as possible. Perfect.
Yeah, I know some theories, but a lot of the time I play too aggressively, I think.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I lose.
It's totally fine, you know.
And especially when I see if my bot lane is losing, I'm like, okay, I need to get something done fast. And I think that's a big mistake.
Yeah, you should never stress yourself, no matter what happens. Unless the game is completely lost, then you should start like kind of maybe flipping or however. Okay, so most importantly, in these kind of moments, like from now on, your lane is kind of like a little bit hard, because usually when you fall behind into lanes like Gragas, Chase, Cannon, all of these champions are kind of equal to each other. If you fall behind into these kind of matchups, you need to make sure that when you don't have input enemy jungle and when they can poke you slowly but surely, that you get that one wave out. So in that moment, like it's fine to make him lose as much as possible, but the moment he arrives, you should use the chance of like shoving it so that wave crashes. Like that wave needs to crash, because before it crashes, if you keep slow pushing now over the entire duration of 2 waves, then he will be able to just perma poke you on every last hit with Q. So what you can do in that moment is, let me explain that differently. So here you want to slow push the moment you see him, okay? And the moment you see him, like this next wave, the first wave you slow push, but the next wave you need to hard shove because it's Gragas, okay? He will poke you and stuff.
He pokes me down and
exactly.
Get the jungle gank. Yeah.
And in order to see if you could still like crash it or not, you can just like look at your wave. Whenever your next wave spawns, you could perma like look at your waves, like boom. Now you could be like, okay, you can somewhat like calculate what's it called? Estimated exactly the time needed for the wave to travel, probably like 21 seconds, 22 seconds maybe from here, since they don't have home guards until they collide like here. So then you're kind of on a timer, okay? And that timer necessarily isn't bad, because by crashing this wave or getting the wave in, you're once again getting tempo and prior over him, okay? So yeah, that's why you kind of like want to push that second wave harder, because otherwise he will just hostage you in that lane. It's like, let's say you only lasted here, you dodge the Q, which is nice. You also woke up more aggressively once he doesn't have Q, that's good. But now, you're just like kind of hostage. And also, what's really important is in matchups, like Darius, Gragas, Darius Riven, Darius Fiora, freestyling a Q is what loses you the game. And I know I do that often too, but I only do it when I'm 100% confident, when it's really early levels, like level 1, 2, 3, where it doesn't lose me the lane, okay? Like no matter if it's a Jax, no matter if it's a Fiora, no matter if it's a whatever, you know? But in that current game state, if you freestyle a Q like that, and he either ease into your Q while you Q, or he just waits until you miss it, and he just perma like clicks back and forth to make sure that he baits it out, then that trade will be cruel. Like that trade, your goal here is not to trade him, you know?
This was one of the questions I wanted to ask you, because I felt like I used Q way earlier than I should.
Exactly.
And I
Yeah.
use it like you just said it. I use it in vain practically.
Yeah. Exactly.
And even in team fights, I usually a lot of time I start team fights if they don't see me with the Q to hit them. But maybe it's better to keep it and just EQ everyone.
Look, that always depends on like.
Depends, yeah.
That
If you can
depends.
burst it down or not, yeah.
No, the depends is kind of like, where's the Darius? You know, where's the Darius? If Gragas opens, if you open up the lane like that against Gragas, Gragas is like, there's Darius. I can see his movement. I can see the movement he impairs on his Q. I can see the way how he walks up. I can see if he goes for a minion. Then you don't want to open up with Q if it's a champion with a dash. But if you play around vision because you got a good base and you're kind of like hugging one of these bushes, then sometimes because they don't have vision, you can open up with Q. Then it's good because they can't dodge it. It's impossible, you know?
Yeah, and it's free.
But that's like the A and O is like against champions like Gragas, Vayne, champions that also have movement speed on certain abilities, and or like an Aurora that has multiple dashes, or like any of these kind of champions, Riven, Fiora, whatever it is. You don't want to open up with Q too much unless you're super confident, or they can't spot you, or they can't spot like your movement, the way how you approach it, you know. Then they can't see the Q cast time because you're doing it out of a bush. Otherwise, you always want to make sure that you only press Q when you 100% hit it. And the big why to that, or like why can you not poke with Q, is because he will get a short trade once you Q, and once Darius doesn't have Q, it opens up a window for you to get punished by enemy laner. Okay? It's like the same story here. He wouldn't even need the Silas, you know? He wouldn't even need the Silas. Like, he just wouldn't. Also, if you would pay more attention to like how Silas pathed, you would kind of know that he's there, if I'm not completely mistaken. Because like you would know that his golems were just about to spawn. He doesn't have bot side camps, you know. Once you're like paying more attention to like where the Silas started, and since you saw him already on the map, what's really important is like you need to look at Silas, what kind of buffs does he have. That sounds stupid, but either you will see your jungler gets top crab, let's say, enemy jungler gets bot crab, your jungler started bot to top, got top crab, enemy jungler gets bot crab, usually that would mean that he started top to bot, okay, and passed for bot side and got bot crab. But even if you spot enemy jungler bot lane and you spot him with a blue instead of a red on his first clear, you know he cleared top to bot, okay? That's really important. Okay. Because then you also know where he kind of started, just by that, you know? Because if he has blue buff longer than red buff, then you know that he cleared blue buff the latest. So respawn time, you could kind of like calculate with that one, and then you know that he's topside again in that particular case.
Again, a wasted Q.
Yeah. Also, what you can also do in moments like that, like in order to repair, is like once the wave is like that, okay, I would immediately walk towards like the bushes and like use my trinket, because like that, at least you would have this fundamental of like vision, and you would make sure that if you see the Silas, that you can somewhat maybe still play around it, okay? Gragas, obviously, you know, it's in that way, the way how it was played, you're kind of like chopped anyway, because the Gragas already got such a good trade before. Like if you look at this from this perspective, like speed it up a little bit, he gets that trade, boom, you're kind of like 60% HP. And if even like let's say he's a bit better, he hits the Q, or even if he doesn't, like he gets like one more trade here, and then like you will not be able to crash this wave until, because he's full HP and you already queued, and it takes you like around 6 to 7 auto attacks to clear that cannon, or maybe like 5 to 6 because of the minions, and that will mean Gragas has another rotation, and that means you're just dead anyway.
Okay.
Therefore, that's kind of that, you know. And since
keep it in mind.
yeah, that's kind of that. basing, you're coming back out of base, you went for mercs, that's fine. What's really important is as well, like, once you're losing hard, you should do is, like, instead of longsword, you should have went refillable pink wards. That's what I do. Like, when I lose hard, and when I'm into, like, these kind of, like, Ragas, like, champions that just, like, slowly short trade you, you know, until you're, like, low enough for them to kill you, a refillable is really needed. Those kind of lanes are so important to get a refillable on. Obviously, you have second wind. Obviously, you have D-shield. Obviously, you have sustain, and you can kind of like play with your Q as well, that you heal back a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's really important that you just get that refillable in, because even though, like, considering the factor that you are like a auto attack depending like melee champion, he still went refillable. Because that refillable will even like enchant him even more for short trades, and that will result into you losing more. And you just have to match that. Because like the longsword is not gonna make you win this lane anymore, unless he obviously makes mistakes. But you need to always take a consistent approach of recovery if you're behind. And the inconsistent approach of recovery is getting a longsword, because he will int and all in and you will get a kill back. A consistent approach of recovery is getting a pink ward to make sure that you at least like spotting enemy jungler for your team every time and for yourself, and having refillable so you're more sustainable in the lane. Okay? You're losing like this and you know Gragas is spacing, and let's say you have kill pressure on mid, okay? Well, however, in that scenario, no, but maybe in future scenarios, because Yasuo is dead right now, roaming mid lane is completely useless for you. But in future scenarios, what I want you to do, if you're losing like that, what you can do is like not only slow push in that moment, because like obviously you would make him lose as much as possible again, but you can still impact the map while you're behind after all of that by hard shoving this, and then directly, not in that exact situation because Yasuo died anyway, but let's say you have this wave state in like 5 games again, or like the same scenario, then you can still hard shove and then roam onto mid, get a vision onto Raptor, place a really deep pink ward, something, you know what I mean? Because most importantly, or you don't even need to do anything. You can just run out of Fog of War, like you can run back after you crash that wave, you can walk like this, and then you can just hide in Fog of War. Walk back like this, get a vulnerable position like this, it would be, not like this. And or you're just hiding in the Fog of War. At the higher level, the more higher level you play it, the more crucial Fog of War becomes. You don't need to actively do something to be a threat to enemy team. The moment you walk into the Fog of War, what's really, really crazy is the higher you play, the more that it gets so crazy. If let's say I'm in a game, enemy team has Ahri. Ahri gets hard shove mid, and she walks from mid lane in the Fog of War, top side, off vision. She's just walking out like this. My mid laner would spam ping top side that she's gone, but she could just recall here off vision, right? And then you as a top laner, just because she's moving out, you just need to respect. And that's crazy. Therefore, that can also be something that you can like apply in the future games maybe. Like once again, you're looking for something that you shouldn't look. You can dodge that once again by hard shoving that wave. And yeah, that's also kind of about that. Sorry, that was the auto-directed camera. Hate when that happens. Let's go back in time a little bit. Can I somehow turn that off? Manual camera, there we go. Unreal, bro. As mentioned, you can dodge that if you just like hard shove the wave. If not, that's fine as well. But it's just gonna be harder for you to play. Resetting there is fine because it's not freezing. Against better players, this guy will just hold that wave. As annoying as he is. He will clear out like maybe 3 minutes and then he will perma drag this wave here and he will keep that freeze. What would you do then in that scenario? What would you do? Would you stay? Would you go base? What would you do?
I would still base because he can just kill me if he keeps the freeze.
Exactly, but do you really think you would base? Do you really think you would? I think that like it's always an emotional decision, you know.
Yeah,
like,
with this mentality, I would in game. I have no idea.
No, it's always like out of the game, you know, this and that. But obviously, it's hard shopping right now. But I do truly believe that if he froze that, you would have stayed 100%, because you would be like, okay, it's kind of like whatever it is, you know. But in other lanes, it will be really hard, and you need to make a consistent decision. Therefore, in pre-hand, you need to hard shove that wave. Okay, in that it's a really explicit scenario. But let's say you're losing. Let's say you're losing. Sorry, the question mark was for nothing. Let's say you're losing, and your laner plays a champion like that, but you saw him just base, and next wave is not a cannon wave. Hard shove, Fog of War, roam. Okay, because then like maybe even if it's on a cannon wave, the next wave will slow push back towards you. Even if not, then he will maybe hard shove back, because then he's gonna try to make you lose, or like maybe he's trying to get like that prior, or however, you know, by hard shoving. Gragas has TP now, you stayed, and now you're in a bad situation. Because the reasoning why he is like shoving that wave back in is because he will get a better base ultimatively, which is really cost efficient for him. Also, he has TP, so he can just TP back. And on top of that, if he takes the gamble and you did not base, and he gets that wave out, he was obviously not sure about that. Like, he did not push that wave because he was thinking, oh, what if the Darius stays? I can push my lead harder if he does. Let's play some mind games. He did not do that. He's not that kind of guy. But in higher elo, like, they kind of do that because they know that, like, sometimes you fake base, and by hard shoving that, now he's making it count for it, because now he can hard shove, and he will get plates while you will lose that wave.
Yeah.
You know? And the craziest part about it is that, like, from getting that good trade at the start, he pushed the advantage too far, and now he's the one in the driver's seat, which could have all been different by one decision. You know?
Yeah.
And that's always really important. I'm not like the kind of guy to like be like, oh, this was bad, this was good, this was bad. It's more like really about to point out the things that really actively deal the most damage. That's fun. Try to move change. Nice. Nice, it worked. Let's rewatch that 1 more seconds. What you want to do as well is you want to always EQ, okay? Even if you open up there into Gragas, like in that moment you want to EQ. And then you can still auto Q, you know, because he doesn't have E. And that Q also could have missed, you know. What you want to do is, what's really good into Gragas as well, there's like a secret mechanic, is when he E's you can just buffer your W, okay? You can always buffer W.
Okay.
You can always buffer W and Gragas E, and when he's not fed, when he's not ahead, what eventually is going to happen is Gragas is going to E you, W him, and then you get a free Q without using your E, because he's slowed so much by that W, because he needs an extra auto attack usually, like he needs like he needs to like W. Yeah, he actually needs to, exactly, he needs to like W himself before he E's you, and then he needs to E you and then Q you, and by that you will get a Q out for free after. Because like imagine that Q doesn't hit because you go for that Q. It only hits because like it was literally luck, you know then.
Yeah.
And that changes the entire fight, but you still did a good job there, you know, at the end of the day it worked, you know, but you gotta always look at what can we improve, what can we do better, how can we combo better, why do we combo better? In each scenario. This is one of the most important things about Darius or as a league if you play League in general, you know. And once again, wait, when did you buy that dagger?
I have no idea.
Instead of the dagger, when did you buy the dagger?
Refillable, yeah.
Exactly, just refillable it, okay? Just refillable it. That dagger doesn't do anything. You don't have a more attack speed like in an actual fight that you need it on. Attack speed is one of the most used as factors on Darius, sadly. Because you never really get to auto attack too much. If you have refillable here, you're completely back in the game while he has a proto belt. Like this, he can still poke you out slowly but surely.
Yeah. I usually buy refillables. I have no idea why I didn't buy it here. Maybe I was thinking about second window run shield was enough, but obviously it isn't.
Maybe you just try to like finish your stride breaker ASAP so the matchup becomes a bit more easy. But the problem is you're always finishing your stride breaker really slow, or whatever item you build. If you have to go Tabi or Mercs first, you know, you're always like gonna be like, no matter if you're against Riven it happens quite often, you know, or Fiora where they have like those huge one item power spikes, you know, where they like rush Hydra or Eclipse and then you have to go Tabi because otherwise you're one shot, and then they will, even though they're 0-0, then they will still one shot you on it, or like will have the advantage of the mythic, let's say it like that, or major item spike.
Yeah.
Also, what's really important, and that's like something I noticed a lot of Darius players do wrong, the way how you approach lane. It's so important that like you, even if he sees you walk into that bush, you need to really make sure that you are not contributing to his poke. How do you contribute as a melee champion to a champion that has a range advantage on abilities to their poke? It's by showing yourself on a wave always. If I play into Cannon, Vayne, Fiora, Varus, or whatever it is, like Gragas, I will always play through these pushes. I will only give up a push once they ward. then I will be like, okay, you fought for that bush, you can have it. You can see me in that bush. But I will make sure that I always impair movement on my character, and then he either has to queue the bush or he has to queue the wave, which is interesting because in order for Gragas to get prior, he has to queue the wave. So if you always only go out of the bush for last hits and you always make sure that you are not spotted, then you make Gragas' life way harder, which is also gonna make you stay way more healthy in lane, which gives way less opportunities for enemy jungle and enemy soup and enemy top to punish you, okay? Really important, really important. That's like one of the first things you see me do different than you, for example, you know? And it's just such a small detail. It's not like anything too crazy. That's still okay, but your main goal is never to keep trading in that moment, okay? Even if you're 3-2, you're against Gragas, that guy will always out-sustain you. If you're refillable or not, he will always out-sustain you in lane. That's like the one strength Gragas has. He's just like a short trade demon, you know? That's fine, you get the wave in, you know? Auto-attack. You, auto-attack, recall. Resetting is fine. Optimization wise, it's fine as well. You're trying to finish Strikebreaker. Hard showing that wave is fine in that moment. Still had to be kind of aware of where enemy jungle is. I mean, you had a ward as well. When did you place it?
It was Nafiri.
Yeah, it was Nafiri, I think. But yeah, I would also like in these kind of moments when I don't know where enemy jungle is, like you did as well, and I have no 100% proof where he really is, and I cannot like track him because I wasn't aware or whatever. I would never try to get push here, because the thing is, if I try to get push, once again, what happens is that I need to show on the wave. Once again, what happens is that he gets to poke me or short trade me, however he wants, and therefore, I would once again like take the approach for the bushes. Maybe like from lane already walk into the bush or fog of war, you know? Because it's so important. It's just really so important. Because like you show on lane, enemy Silas gets another opportunity. You don't show on lane, you're in that bush soaking the XP. Enemy Silas is not gonna walk top because why would he? You're not there. Sometimes that makes enemy jungler not walk onto your lane. Also, what's really important is, even if you have Tiamat, okay? If the wave is in that state, let's look at Drakes, okay? Next Drake is up in 4 minutes 38, okay? What your main goal is now, okay? After everything that has happened, boom, okay, it happened, who cares? You know, mistakes happen, boom, who cares? I'm still trying to recover. How can I make Gragas game? That's one of the questions you should always ask yourself. How can I make Gragas his game like in a way of like that he has the hardest time to like actually snowball his lead, you know? And the answer to that is like, even in that moment, if you have Tiamat, just last hit only, because your wave is in a really good position. Even though you have Tiamat and you will eventually start slow pushing, still, you're not allowed to make it easier for him than it already is. So what you want to do is like, you want to just keep the wave like that, immediately walk forward here, boom, place a ward right there. And then walk back. Obviously don't tank the mini wave while you're walking in. Ward here, and then just last hit only. Because the things that will happen once you do that is Gragas is forced to walk up in a really bad spot, even though it's Gragas, you know, after base. You will force Gragas or someone else that will want to play that wave to walk into an unfavorable position, which is then once again gonna create an opportunity for your jungler, okay? And that is really, really important. It's just really, really important that you always create like not options, but moments where you can like do something, still proactively get a shutdown or like whatever it is, you know. In that moment it would just be a kill or it would be a flash or it would be ult, but that's still something, you know. But by hard shoving this wave, Gragas can accept the wave in a really non-vulnerable state, and he can just like snowball the way how he wants. Like he can just hard shove another wave because he knows you will last it anyway, and then he can rotate onto mid with his prior or invade with his jungler or whatever, okay? That's really important in these moments to really just still capitalize on what you can do and what you cannot. What I always refer to as this is why people do this. It's not because like you don't know about it, or like usually a lot of people know that they could just last it there, you know, or whatever. But usually this is impacted by your emotional state. Usually, obviously sometimes you don't know. Some people don't have the knowledge yet, but I feel like a lot, like 99% of Darius players would keep hard shoving, keep like going crazy on waves because they know that they made mistakes and the game is not going their way. Okay, therefore, like
Yeah.
maybe it's also important to have like a really neutral emotional state on every wave, on everything, and really like ask yourself what is the best to do.
Wow.
That's a good speedo.
Twitch.tv EUSXYZ. I'm headed there to learn how to play Darius.
Once again, like you open up with Q when you shouldn't. You use your E when you shouldn't. Just like at the reset. And the only reason why it works, like it's a good TP, don't get me wrong. But if enemy bot lane,
they hinted it.
exactly, if enemy bot lane, it's a good punish, and we should always try to like capitalize on the things that are happening in your elo, and not only do things that only work in high elo, absolutely. But I do believe that if they don't overstay to somehow poke the Malphite, therefore like no reason kinda, you first of all don't get the TP, and second of all, if they play it differently and Gragas stays top or whatever, then like Gragas gets like 2 waves for free, you lose 2 waves for free, and you might only get 1 kill. And then maybe you get both waves, you know? And then, but then you're still kind of like fucking up lane assignment, because Herald is up, Nafir might want to play Herald because Yasuo is dead, you're not there, means Gragas is there, Silas could come out of respawn, and maybe they could contest something they shouldn't be able to contest because you should be there. Depending on every situation individually though, it worked, you still got 2 kills, you know, like that's good. But we always need to look for the things that work consistently. But it's still a good TP.
I die here because I overstay. Yeah, I die like a moron.
But that's still fine, you know, like this is like in a situation like that, you're getting a full turret almost. Like that's fine if you die. But you should back off after the last plate, so you don't lose too much tempo or time overall, you know, and you could walk back on top side. Gragas is dead, you know. Why if Gragas is fighting or is trading or is like vulnerable after like whatever he's doing on the map right now, why would you want to take the full tower? If you could base, get the tempo advantage over the Gragas and get the platings, you would be giving up onto here on top lane anyway, you know. But that's fine, that's fine. That's fine. Because now like the plates you got extra, you just give the Kaiser on top, you know. And now, since you walked bot lane and your team did not re-walk bot lane because you kind of changed the lane assignment with your TP, what ended up happening is that your bot lane walked mid lane. And now, it's not only a kill, now they also get a turret, you know what I mean? And your team might not get so much on the other side. Which is really important to note. Alright. There we go. See, now your Malphite had to go top lane. Gragas actually got the plating he shouldn't have gotten. Even though he died, you know. Maybe he peed for it or something. But there's a mosquito. Can't catch it. That's fine. Also in the future though, what you want to do is like, you can always like open up with Q. You can actually hard commit here, by the way, and force his exhaust. Like obviously, if you get that trade, you can commit harder, because like you're so strong, and you're actually so fucking strong right now. Because now, because you clicked back, because you got scared, you don't get that 5th auto attack, you know what I mean? Which you would have gotten.
I think I went back because I didn't have ult still.
Yeah, but still, you
And I
know.
was afraid I couldn't win.
Yeah, but still, you know, your Malza,
Oh, no, I
Nafiri.
had ult.
Yeah, your Malza and your Nafiri, either way, you know, they were all walking in for it. I mean, enemy team is inching hard here, you know what I mean? You want to be mainly on side lane at the moment. Like right now, there's no Herald, there's no Grabs are not there, there's no Drake, there's nothing. You don't really want to be on mid right now, you know. If it works, but what's really important is like, we're always looking for the consistent part, okay? If Gragas wants to overgroup and it would win him the game, good for him. If Gragas doesn't play sideline anymore, he's just like clicking on his team, fine. Then he might take away a game like this from you, okay? But you're playing for the longer run. You play to improve and one day become such a good player that you can make consistent decisions on a daily basis. And you will lose a game where enemy Malphite will drop a top wave and they will walk mid lane, kill your entire team. Who cares? Who cares? You want to be the guy that always finds a way back into the game if the enemy team lets him, and that is exactly how they let you. if you click top lane after that double kill, Gragas has a 50% chance of staying mid lane, okay? Because he doesn't know where you are till you are really seen on that wave. And if he either commits on mid lane, you will get plates on top lane, or he will lose the wave on top lane, or even if he then starts clicking top lane when he sees you top lane, looking at the wave right now, it will be so late that he will lose XP and gold, while you're getting XP and gold in a state where you shouldn't have gotten it prior, okay? So that is exactly what we're looking for. So if we go back in time, let's see when the Kaiser died. That was right here. Boom, you get that kill. You go away. You go away. You insta move into top side. You insta move into top side. Okay? Insta move into top side. Why do you insta move into top side? What do you think? As besides the things that we just mentioned.
No more safe play to do. Or
Yeah,
consistent play to do here.
Yeah, and what is this guy?
Support, no, mid laner, sorry.
Exactly. And usually, if your mid lane is performing well, he has 2 items. The odds that he is walking top lane right now are super low, and you don't want to walk on mid lane with him. It's like instead of
to don't share XP.
exactly, obviously, and not share gold, you know, to still let him snowball the way how he should, you know. I know it's like one of the hardest things at the beginning, you know, like to really like understand like when a play is over and when not. I know that is like that's like not so easy, and it takes a lot of games, you know. And obviously, enemy team is still inting, like they're still inting, but at some point, if you do this exact thing consistently in diamond, you're gonna make your mid lose vulnerable, like you're gonna make him lose XP and gold. You're gonna give enemy top laner opportunities to keep pushing top and getting plates for free. Because Gragas wasn't there at all. He just killed your Malphite on top side. He could have just pushed that wave and got a plate. Or on top of it, you're also making yourself lose more XP and gold over time.
Yeah.
And it's just important to really go for the most consistent, play that really gives you the best revenue and the most consistent revenue on your champion. Revenue, income, gold, whatever you want to call it. That Gragas ins here is absolutely cinema. Thing is, he is fine. Oh shit, I just moved my minimap. How do you even fix that? Oh, there we go. How do you fix that? How do you fix that? How did I move my minimap? Sorry, I gotta fix that.
I don't know.
What is that?
Did you click on shift maybe?
No.
I mean, not click press.
No, it's fine. Okay, there we go. I got it. Alright. But yeah, that's kind of about that. Because like at the end of the day, Gragas is also doing the same mistake. But Gragas' wave is at least slow pushing, you know. Your wave is pushing away from you. So like that wave is just gone. For both, I think. I don't think Gragas is gonna go top. And see, like, let's see, you're still hovering mid. Let's see how much time passed. Okay? So, let's see. Minutes. Let's see when you start. When was your first walk mid lane? Let's say right now. 1722. Let's see how long you're actually spending on that mid wave. That's 1 minute. Let's say like 1 minute and 45 seconds, okay? What?
I like
that's so. I mean, not two. You're already walking top lane, so it's fine. But like, you're 1.5 to 1 minute and 45 seconds you're spending on that mid wave, okay? That's like minimum. If you insta cut it short, that's like those. You would be 1.5 minutes on side lane. Instead,
yeah. That's
1.5 minutes of waves, 1.5 minutes of XP, 1.5 minutes of tempo on Gragas. That's like so many things that you could just like utilize. And then after getting, what's really important is like getting push on side, even in that scenario, because you can't afford your way back. You got random kills, this and that, so you're as strong as Silas, as strong as Gragas. Also in that game, I would have went Force of Nature on 2, because the Kaiser's going AP build, you have double AP top side, and Yasuo is not winning hard enough for you to go that much plate, okay? So in that game, Force of Nature on 2. What did I want to say? Now I lost the grip of the sentence. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like just pushing on side, you know, and then you still like. What's more cruel than just walking mid lane is getting pushed on side and then walking on mid lane, because then you force enemy top laner to actively make a decision.
Yeah, or to react to the top lane or to come join the fight.
Yeah, exactly, and that is always losing for him, because you already got that wave, right? If you push that side wave, you already got that wave, and he still either needs to play it, and that's like what prio is like, and that's why prio is always such a huge thing. Prio is always like, let's say enemy bot lane has push, and then they contest crap, okay? But let's say enemy bot lane is first to move because they have prio, because they got to play the wave first. And then you're putting enemy bot lane into a decision to either drop the wave and then contest the crab while they shouldn't because they don't have prio. And then even if they would have a winning play on the crab, they would still need to drop the wave, you know? So it's always losing. It's always losing. Unless they play the wave and then they join the frame and then it works. But that happens rarely, you know? Because then if they're either too late or they will lose something for it. And that's exactly what you need to do as Darius in this top lane. Recalling that is fine. Because the thing is, if you itemize DMP this game, the Silas, the Gragas, and the Kaiser are gonna murder you. If you itemize DMP, if you itemize DMP, then they're gonna murder you. If you itemize Force of Nature, then like you actually are fine. You're actually fine. You're gonna get like Death Stance on free that game, or like Starex or whatever. You don't even really need armor that game. And now once again, like you see that, right? Like Gragas is pushing top. He doesn't have TP, he's kind of effing it. But let's say he had TP and he pushed that top wave, okay? Let's just swap these two, okay? Let's just swap these two. In terms of like, not swap these two, sorry. I'm already a bit tired. I played like 8 hours of League of Legends, you know, my brain is a little bit cursed. What I mean by that is like, let's say Gragas is in that situation where he pushes the side wave first, okay? And he has TP. And he has no TP, you know. Then he's basically doing that, what I just said, you know. He's like pushing side wave, you're walking to the fight, so you are like matching it, for example, or you're there first, but you're losing the minions. And in the longer run, the higher elo you go, the more cruel that will be, okay? And that is really important to understand. Therefore, I will just mention it one more time and even mention it in like his scenario, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fine, you guys get a good fight off the Drake. Let's watch the fight as well, because why not? A completely unplayable fight for enemy team because you're first. They're still contesting it, you know, which is absolutely... Obviously, you should have auto-attacked after your E. But that's fine, it still works, you know, then. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, now... See, like, if you think about it, like, let's say we break it down really to the basics. You see how many mistakes you've made, right? So far, and it's how many things you could have done differently. And you're still 7-4-3. What does that do? What does that do to you? Like, for me, if I would be you right now, and I would be like, after all of that has went wrong, in a game like that, I still went 7-4-3 so far, and all of a sudden, I'm ahead. In my opinion, that would be like, I want to immediately change that, because I would want to find out what would happen if I properly play almost every play, you know, and I properly play every wave. I would be like so excited all of a sudden to really find out, you know. And that's what you should do as well.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to do. I know it's like not you wake up tomorrow and you're gonna be a perfect player, you know. Absolutely not. But it's important to really like try to like really like, that shouldn't sound mean, but you need to really try to actively think more how you want to proceed, how you want to play, how you want to trade.
Yeah, not just play on autopilot.
Not just play, exactly. And I know that's hard sometimes, and we all see League as a fun game, you know, this and that. But we really should do that. Also, in Spectator, Unleashed TP is bugged. Like, the spell always gets shown that you have it. I actively don't know if you have it or not. That's one of the biggest downsides. Like, I just don't know if you have Unleashed TP or not. What I want to say, though, is I'm pretty sure you have it, because I haven't seen you use it. It's been quite some time, so I'm pretty sure you have it in that moment. Could be wrong, though. And you have no reason to walk topside again. You open up through mid, that's something you should never do. You should always open up bot lane right now, or open up top lane. Why do you think? Do you want to open up top lane? For example, why do you think?
Yeah, I know this theory, what you want to ask. I should have gone bot, because they will match me, probably, and I have TP for bottom play.
And you could also get prio on top, means again, on bot, sorry, you could walk bot and then you get prio on bot and you can walk on mid from bot while not using your TP and then force mid prio because it's 4v5 and then you can all walk together to Nash and contest the vision. Yasuo stays bot lane, pushes one more wave, you can start recalling, then accept his wave, right, after all of that, like bot into mid, into Nash, and then you get the wave and then you play one more wave and you can repeat the same play. You know, you can repeat the same play over and over. Why do you think it would also be an option to match topside here instead of going bot lane?
If I had TP or not?
Even if you have. Let's say, why would you think is it also an option while Malphite is top lane to go top lane?
To go top lane with him?
Why do you think it could also be an option? What would you need to do to make it work? if you want to walk top lane with him. Okay, I will explain.
Well,
Okay, I think it's just too in-depth
yeah,
to
please.
answer. Okay, so
Yeah, please do it.
all good, all good. If Malphite walks top lane alone, right? No one will expect Blitzcrank to be with him. No one will expect, since Naafiri is dead, for Naafiri to be there. No one will expect, since they see Malzahar mid, anybody to cover the Malphite. So if you walk top lane on that wave, and how you walk top lane is also really important. You need to walk top lane like this. And then either you walk into that bush or you walk into that bush. And you're just in the fog. You just let him bait. You let him be on the lane, and if there's a Sylas that walks onto him, if there's a Gragas and a Sylas that walks onto him, you are there. You are there all of a sudden. And then Yasuo pushes 2 waves on bot lane. Guess what? You can take the entire turret, and then you TP bot lane and you answer it.
TP bot and get the waves, yeah. And okay.
That's like another thing you can do. What happens in pro play often is that happens. When I played in Prime League, me and Soli, we always did that on side waves. Like, let's say you walk up on side lane, the people think, oh, what the fuck? He might be alone. We see enemy soup, we see enemy jungle. We don't see enemy mid. Enemy mid should be bot playing a wave. You can just overload on the side, which is also a really good play that you should utilize sometimes. But you walk over mid lane, and then you walk for crab, which is not that good, because you can now argue, okay, but I'm kind of like contesting the vision, or like I'm kind of contesting the crab. I'm grabbing vision with my team. First of all, you're in a 4v5 scenario, technically 4v4, because Yasuo is bot, which is fine. You can look for something, but you can do that same exact play if you go bot lane, because you can once again do bot wave, prior, right? Second wave you push here, you walk through here, you push mid, get prior mid, and then you contest the entire vision. Okay? So you can do that play with a consistent manner of pushing sideways first. But that's fine, you know. That's what we're here for. We're here to spot these kind of things. So now you go bot, and Yasuo was eating good. Yasuo was eating good.
He took a lot of plates.
Like, that guy was getting waves and plates. And if we look at Yasuo is 1-5-6. And you're like, he loses into you. He would even lose into Malphite at this point. He loses into Malphite, he loses into Malzahar, and he loses into you. Why is he? You always go ask yourself the question, why was the Yasuo, if you ever review a game like this alone, why was the Yasuo allowed to get back into the game by 0?
Yeah.
And that's because of you know, or because of the Malzahar. He could have went bot lane as well, or because of Malphite, he could have went bot lane as well. But you gotta think, can I impact Malzahar? Can I impact Malphite? No, I can't impact any of these. This is not like a 5v5 game where you can control every character. This is a game where you can only control yourself, you know, and therefore, really important to be reflected about it. You could have walked bot and you could have denied him that gold he will need for shield bow, and you would have kept the Yasuo at an all-time low. Plus, you would have also kept your snowballing at the all-time high, because you would have gotten 2 waves, and then you could have made the decision. Do I walk for Nash? Do I walk for the vision? Do I walk for mid prior with my team and then contest the Nash vision? Do I stay bot lane and keep getting more waves for me? What happens if the Yasuo all of a sudden leaves bot lane? That's your decision, and you get a full tier 2 bot lane, and you ping your team to go off and wait for you. Entire game changes.
Yeah, I understand it now that you tell it like this. I try to manage the perspective.
That's really important. Now as well. Let's say, like, you know, Gragas is dead, Kaiser is dead, Leon is dead. I'm 100% sure you have TP. I don't want to lie, but I'm pretty sure you have TP. But
yeah,
even if, like, you can obviously walk to Nash there, but you should always push one more bot wave first, in my opinion. Because you have TP, you know, you have TP. As you see, you just TP. And also what's really important is, on Nashes and stuff like that, after around 4000 HP, okay, just leave the pit. If enemy jungler is somewhat trying to contest and you're not sure, and you don't know if you're Malphite,
I should zone him.
Because, like, he stole the Malphite ults. If he steals the Malphite ult and Malphite and Blitzcrank try to zone him, he just ease forward and ults into the pit and has a chance to smite it, you know? Therefore, also in future games, if the Nash is 4 to 5000 HP and you're confident enough that you can zone enemy jungler, because enemy jungler is a Aatrox, is a Bessa, is a whatever, you know, then make sure that you're the one zoning them. Because, once again, you're the only character that you can control. And that Sylas needs to be zoned. Because a scenario like that is so favored, that bitch is dead, that bitch is dead. Only 3 people are alive. Gragas is in base, Yasuo is in base, only Sylas is threatening it. The one thing that you don't want is a 50-50 in that moment. And the one thing how a 50-50 can be created is if you are not zoning him. The only reason when you don't want to zone is if you and Naafiri are the only ones at Nash and you don't have DPS. But you have DPS, okay? You have DPS, you have enough. Yeah. But that's fine. Just like as an add-on, you know, you still get the Nash, that's fine, but sometimes that can decide a game. Now you're going for MR. That's good. Game from here should be won. Now if you play correct macro. So, okay. If I was you, even though I have sums, I would directly walk top lane. I would directly walk top lane because Gragas doesn't have TP. Yasuo plays Exhaust. No one else has TP. They're all positioning bot side. What I would do is, on the way out of our base, I would say, play top. Or play mid into top. I would hard ping that top tower. I would make sure that my team is aware that I want to play top and I directly walk top. Because enemy team is desperate right now. They need to do something. They need to do something to get back into the game. Some fight where like you guys split and they get some random shutdowns, random kills and annihilate your Nash buff, okay? So if you immediately walk top lane there, even, and now this is the big part. Let's say you wrote play mid into top. Let's say you pinged that you want to play top. Let's say you pinged them off that they don't take a 4v5, okay? If you're top lane there, I guarantee you get that full tower. That full tower is almost as worth as if 2 people die from your team. And then no matter what, you're once again putting enemy team into like making a decision, aka they either answer you or they don't and they lose something. And on top of it, no matter what happens, no matter what your team does, most importantly, because you don't want to be a player that depends on your team, you are getting yourself further ahead. You're getting yourself towards the force of nature. You're getting yourself towards the level 16. You are just doing what you're supposed to do, okay? Really important. Because if you walk there, see, like, let's say, you just, not let's just say, but however you walk there, you're always too late. You're always too late in that moment. Unless you would walk directly bot. But still, here the play should have ended. Here the play should have ended. You could have also taken bot, the insta-render, but you're usually always too late in that moment. Your Blitzcrank is half HP, he can't look for anything. And even if this is not the correct play to do, because let's say you win the fight here, okay? Death timers are not that high yet. Death timers are like, okay, I mean, some are 40, let's say like 35 to like 38 to like 40 seconds death timers on enemies, okay, in that moment. Means even if you get a fight here, the way how the wave is played, you get at maximum, you get a tier 2 after you win that fight, and maybe jungle camps if your team is coordinated well enough. By taking a risk of either being too late to the fight or maybe even trading even in a fight like that, okay? While you could just walk top lane, okay? Really important. Just
and get the advantage that's consistent, yeah.
And also, like, look, you have summoner spells, right? Next Drake is up in 1 minute. If you take a fight where you're not sure that you're 100% going to win the game on, you're going to lose your summoners for Drake, which will then eventually end up you losing the game, kind of, you know? Because then you won't have sums. Into their kind of draft, if you have sums or don't have sums, makes a huge difference. And now you have Nash and you're just sitting bot lane. And even if, like, this is just like not... This is like not you getting a good fight, that's Gragas inting. That's something that should never be there in the first place, you know? But you're just still, if they're good, they just juggle waves, wait a little bit, keep your hostage on board, and just bait out your Nash. Now, you lost Flash and Ghost for a kill on Leona. And you die. And you die, and you drop a shutdown, and they're all dead. Like, you're all dead. You're all dead. And that, now, once again, now you could look at this and say, why did my team chase in the first place, right? Why did they even look for a fight on bot lane in the first place? Why did they even play a fight without you in the first place? All of these questions can never be answered because those are all characters that are not controlled by you, okay? So most importantly, to understand the physics of the game is to always take a play that keeps you snowballing, always take only plays that make sure that you always have sums for Drake, always communicating with your team what the next steps are, always communicating how you need your team to move with by saying play mid into top, you know what I mean? And always making sure that you're aware that you don't want to take a fight where you use your sums before the Drake, okay? Unless the fight would be so huge that everybody dies, you get the tier 2 on top of it, and you deny enemy jungler camps on top of it. That's what would need to happen. So like a huge winning fight, you know. So I have some weird ass music playing right now. What that is? It's like some kind of AI or something. I don't know what that was. All right. Yeah, but that's obviously we could be like, okay, your team this, that, you know, but we look at you, you know, your team might not take that fight.
I have to improve. I can't play for other guys. Yeah.
You can sometimes, but in that moment, you know, you gotta make sure. Holy, the portal bugged you there, didn't it? Also in that moment, like in that moment, like once again, like what do you think? Do you think like a Darius without sums and like he barely getting ult up and you guys being too late in the position? Do you think that you should contest this? Like
honestly, no.
In a real way, in my opinion, you shouldn't.
And we had no vision as well. I think.
and you kind of just have to walk in. Even though Kai'Sa and Yasuo are a bit too late, I would not contest this, because then I would be like, okay, I don't have sums. Next fight is going to be pretty tough. And I'm kind of relying on my team to actually play their abilities as you always have to. Perfect, you know. And Silas is not allowed to steal a Malphite ult. So many things need to align. And I would just walk top lane and be like, drop that Drake. We have 2. It's their second. Let me walk top lane, cross map into top. Because if you cross map into top, you get all of this 100%, no matter what. You get the full tower, your jungler gets golems and raptors, and you get mid lane wave, because they are gonna drop the mid lane wave, because they are insta running to the Drake. So you're getting mid prior, you're getting top third, you're getting wolves, you're getting raptors, you're getting golems, and you get the mid wave on top. And enemy top laner loses the top waves. So in terms of putting all of that money, that's like a 1200 gold play. I would say maybe like a 1000 to a 1100 gold play right there, just like that. Huge gold shift for one Drake. For one Drake. Even though you should have done it in the play before, and everything that could have went wrong. You lost your sums, you died, you dropped your shutdowns, and this and that. You could have still went for a really gold efficient play there. And that's just like how many opportunities there actively are. You probably win the fight even. You probably even win that fight, you know. But that's just a Drake, you know. Obviously you're getting to like soul point, which is not bad. But in a way, I don't know, like you're not doing it, you're not even really participating, you know. You're just doing the crap. And once again, another midwave lost, because Yasuo, once again, went for that consistency decision. He knows that he's not going to play a big part in that fight, because he's too late, right? Like Yasuo this game, he played like a noob, okay? Like Yasuo, that guy was inting lane, whatever you want to say. But he went for that bot play. He realized that he's too late for that fight, immediately went on mid, pinged his team to go out for the right decision, played another wave, got that wave out, could have even arguably went for plating. And now, like, even the kills you're getting here are completely useless. Because once again, you're losing waves here, you're losing waves here, you're losing waves here. Once again, technically speaking, even if you kill 3 people there, it's almost an even play. My Blitzcrank also just randomly dies. And now, like, you're walking back on mid. And, yeah. But the top wave, since like 2 minutes, this entire top wave. So important to get. This is all just a waste of time. All of these plays, you're not getting anywhere with it. You're not dragging anybody onto a side lane. You're not getting prior on any kind of lane besides on mid lane with that lane. But with that wave you played before, like before this play. But that's like a wave that usually like your Malphite or your Malza should play. They're not as safe as you are on side lane, even though arguably you could say Malphite can R away on side. But if Malphite R's away on side, he doesn't have ult for 70 seconds with Malignance build or whatever. Therefore, you're that kind of guy. Once again, you're just walking around. In my opinion, this is absolutely not what you should do. What you should do. Once again, like a really inconsistent decision to go for that play.
Yeah, and risky plays as well.
Yeah. Look, like even if you execute that, enemy Gragas is pushing top lane. You know, he's getting these waves in, punishing the Malphite, and you're taking a risk that enemy team overloads. You know that you don't have number advantage. Gragas has TP, you don't, because you TP to the Nash before, and your normal TP is really high cooldown. And they can easily create a number advantage. Always ask yourself, can enemy team overload in this play? Or can they not? Is it good if they do? Is it bad if they don't? You know, however, you know, just ask yourself simple questions, you know. Because now, like, once again, you open up over mid, Malza opens mid. Now, man, you walk top lane, maybe. Now you walk to a jungler for sure, you don't open up top. Once again, boom. This tower, full platings in 30. I've never seen something like it. Like, not as a flame, but 30 minutes. I understand. Not a single plating has been popped.
I was too afraid to get killed on side, or I have no idea why I didn't go.
Yeah, but the moment you came back, the moment you were 5-4 in that game, nobody could handle you on side. Nobody. And you have wards, you know. You can just swap to blue trinket after like level 9 or whatever, and then you can just always play your blue trinkets. If you think like, okay, the Silas could be there or whatever. See, now you're playing it. And now, in the one moment where enemy team can actively fuck you on that top lane, now you're playing the wave, you know. Now, exactly in the moment where you're the most vulnerable, you decide to go for it, and you are gonna die. You are gonna die, and enemy team is gonna get Nash. Okay, but Malphite got one back. It's lucky that your team got one back, I won't lie. They might even win this now. I mean, they get Drake, you know. Imagine you like that's always like the biggest problem Darius players have. They don't know how and when to side, and then they go for it when they can't, you know. And just always ask yourself, can they collapse on me? Can they collapse on me? Who do I see? Do they have champions that can overload on side? Do they have a Nocturne? Do they have a Bard? Which kind of champs do they have that could fuck me in the ass if I go for the side wave? Who do I see on the map? Really important. Can a Gragas contest me in a 1v1 scenario? Can Silas overload on side? Can Yasuo contest me in a 1v1 scenario? Always ask yourself these questions, then you don't end up in these situations. Now you have TP again for sure, so you go bot lane. That is a good decision. You should keep pushing, not recalling. You need to, in these moments when you also see them on the map and you know that they are like in this position because you saw them, then what you need to do is you need to really make sure that you are hardcore going on side and you ping your team. You say wait side wave. Wait side wave, they should play with blue wards. Even if they don't have some, they should still always like kind of just chill, walk in, walk out, not hard commit, and then once you will see anyway if they commit or not. Oh shit, I just pressed on it. Let me watch that fight. But you should insta TP. If you also like not keep pushing this here and you're just like okay, whatever, insta TP. Then you need to insta TP on the wave. Even if you don't have what, you need to insta TP. So your team will pull the trigger. This was just not fast enough, and this ward was already there for quite some time. You can see the fight. You open up with Strikebreaker Q. Okay. In my opinion, I would probably go on the Gragas there, but it's also fine to go on the Yasuo. Also, always like keep in mind barrier from AD carries, Sterox from champions, Shield Bro from champions. Okay, you know it's really important. You know, or Yasuo passive, but in this moment it was Shield Bro. You know, it's really important because like this you don't get the reset. Let's say you have the reset there.
It will change the fight.
Boom, you W Leona on the stun, you're still stacked. Everybody dies. Like everybody dies. You insta ult the Gragas and then you auto W the Leona. You could have executed that a little bit better. But that's fine, you know. It's okay. Those are things that just have to happen. Once again, right now, open up. You should open up topside. You should really open up topside. Because why do you think? Do you want to open up topside this game? Like right now? Why do you think? Like
so you got Prior on top.
No.
To get waves
they have Nash. They have Nash. Why do you think?
They have Nash, yeah.
What kind of turrets are available on mid on top still, and which one isn't on bot?
Oh, the second tower, yeah.
Exactly. The chances that they are gonna siege bot lane tier 3 are way lower than the chances that they are gonna siege tier 2 mid or tier 2 top, okay? And by going top lane, you deny them the waves they would need to have to siege tier 2, even if this is a stacked wave. This Malza or Malphite has to go bot lane in that moment. But not you. You need to go top lane. Because this is the only character you can control. Sadly. And now Gragas is already prepping the wave. He can slow push this, so this is gonna be a massive wave with next one if he plays this wave slow. If he just lasts it here, this wave will collide with this one, and then they have double Ken wave. While you're still bot lane. And if enemy team is fast enough to rotate, like they would have already like played that turret. But look, he's not even buffing it anymore, which is his mistake. He's not buffing it out of vision, which means the LxVer can hard the wave. But that should be your trope. And if you're there earlier, she can't do that. Like once again, you're hovering mid, that's fine. But if you were top lane, you would be where the LxVer is right now. And the bot lane wave would have also been better pushed because Malzahar could have been bot lane. And he has TP while you don't, and it would have been fine, you know. It's like once again, by you walking bot lane, you're kind of like making the lane assignment harder as well. Because the person with the TP is going to be the furthest from the next play, you know. In that moment as well, what I would do is like, look, in League of Legends, usually what you see is enemy soup. Wait, the sound is not good. I don't like the stopwatch sound. Wait a second. There we go. It's still there. Wait, it's gonna be there for a long time. If it's a support champ like Leona, let me just list some, okay? Leona, Nautilus, let's say like Rel. Overall, just engage supports that go in but can't go out once they're in, okay? In a teamfight like that, you want to focus them because you will rely on Kai'Sa to ult to troll her, like killer instinct or whatever it's called, like her ult. She needs to troll. With flash, barrier, if you know enemy AD carry sums, if you know enemy Gragas sums, if you know enemy Sylas sums, these kind of champs that are super slippery, you will need them to int to get your reset. So what you do in a team fight like that is that you focus the support. But you don't focus the support to necessarily kill him, you focus him to build up your stacks. Because like look at Leona. Imagine, wait, let's go back in time a little bit more. Leona goes in there, and you don't E her, okay? You don't E her.
I eat like a moron.
Let's say like, look, she's completely inting, let's not talk about it. But imagine you auto plus W, plus auto, stride, auto, that's like, and then Q. Or like you put the Q somewhere in there. It's 5 stacks for free. In like 2.9, like 3 seconds. You're full stack in like 3 seconds. And then you're full stack, and the biggest threat is you're full stack Darius with Ghost and E. And then it's chopped, okay? Because like Eing a Leona there won't do a lot, you know? And look, now the Kaiser's in. I mean, she's obviously completely trolling, you know, we don't need to talk about. But imagine you had E there. You grab the Kaiser right now.
Yeah, I grabbed her back, yeah.
You could have also went more aggressive there onto the Kaiser. But this fight is just super chaotic and problematic. And now you lose both of your sums yet again. And the play just kinda ends there. You win this fight 100% if you focus the Leona. Because Leona is flashless, she can't get away from you. But that's fine, that's just also like a mistake, you know. It's totally okay.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to talk about the ult resets and the team fights and stuff, because I have no idea how to play them.
It's like here as well. You could E, you could hit like a 3-man E there. Or you could still like hit a 4-man E there, right, you know. And then like EQ. They flash, okay. I mean, that's just a bit unlucky. Ult goes on Gragas, wouldn't have killed the Kaiser as well. You need to have a bit more patience in that moment. So they like Naafiri will go in anyway, you know. And overall, like you need to have a bit more patience so they are not like on top of each other anymore. So you can ult the right one. On top of that, if you get their flashes, you can also be like, okay, I'm fine, we're gonna slowly chase them, and then maybe we can play with another blitzcrank hook. You need to have a bit more patience in that moment. Well, let's say you have ult there, like you probably pentakill that. Okay, not pentakill, but let's say like you have ult there. You can probably like... Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult either way. Because they just promise to see you. It's just difficult. That's probably not doable no matter what you do there in the chase. You could have played your E differently there as well. Like let's say you E right now. Look, if you E 1 second earlier as well, makes a huge difference. Watch this. So Leona goes in, right? Imagine you E right now. I swear to God, like those two are instantly chopped. They're instantly chopped. You grab the Leona out of the E as well. You get 100% reset from Leona. She can't play the game. And she will, like, her flash, she will not make so much distance. If you grab her instantly there, which is like, it's whatever, you know, we don't even need to review that, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know, if you E then, she will insta-flash instant after her E, and then she doesn't make as much distance as she made now. And you will have better chances of getting the reset. But that's like really in-depth, really whatever, you know, really unique, really, every game is like different in that scenario, and that's just like, not the situation you will ever be in the next 1,000 games. But still, you know. But yeah, that's basically it. It's usually just really important as Darius that you really make sure that you're pushing that side wave, you know.
Yeah, I fucked up big time.
That's just, it's so important. Like, I cannot even put it into words how important it is. But that tier 1 on top lane would have been gone like multiple times, you know. And the level 1 how you played the wave, the way how you tried to like push your lead forward way too fast, you know. There were like so many things. That's fine. Like that's absolutely fine to make these mistakes, you know. But yeah. That's just how it goes, you know. I think we covered up a lot of good things.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot. And I'm gonna play it like not like this anymore.
Now you know what I think you should do? Do you have a lot of friends on EUNE?
Yeah, pretty much. But not that I play with them. I mean we play sometime, but solo queue no.
What you should do, you should call up your EUNE homies, okay? Invest 25 euros into a transfer, okay? Transfer your main account to EU West. Have a complete new start. Because you're gonna start unranked, okay? And you're never gonna have a finish on EU West. and full tryhard every game. I think that would do you good.
I never gonna have a finish.
That means if you transfer your account from a different, like, look, if you look at your account right now, you see like season 4 you've been silver 2, season 5 you've been gold, and if you transfer your account is level 371, completely unranked on US.
Oh, it's fresh then.
And I think the people like look, I think if you would play to master still EONE now, you're gonna learn so much fake matchup knowledge that once you play against really good players, or once you would play like on EU West against really good players that snowball properly in matchups, that kind of play decision-wise better, you're gonna go back to like or like I don't know, all of the things you might have learned, you can't really like do them on the server where the people are better. And if you play on EU West, you're gonna improve so much more because you're gonna be mechanically way more pressured in harder situations. You're gonna like it's just gonna be harder, but it's gonna be good that it's harder because you're gonna be better as a player. Like if you're diamond on EU West, you're gonna be master on EONE. But if you're emerald on EONE, you're gonna be like platinum on EU West, you know. As cruel as that sounds,
okay.
or like, you know,
I get it.
and you will just improve more because it's gonna be harder, okay? Because that Gragas, I want to see what Edo that Gragas was. That Gragas, his EONE, okay, was Emerald 4 peak, Platinum 1. A Platinum 1 Gragas in EU West would never walk into you like this level 1. Look, he's a Darius player himself. After that game, he started playing Darius as well. Look, we made him be addicted. Look, drops insta-bomb. Just because of you. No, but if I was you, I would say to my friends, yo, if you guys want to, let's all start a new chapter at EONE, at EU West, and just get that transfer going. I'm not joking. It's going to help you a lot. You're going to see a huge difference.
Wouldn't my ping be much worse?
Where were you from again?
I'm next to Hungary, like two countries down below you.
You're next to Hungary. What was it again?
Yeah, Romania.
Romania. No, Romania is fine. Vlaso always played on Romania. I think Romania has 40 MS, I think. Same MS. The servers are at the same location, I think. EONE and EU West are both Frankfurt, like in Germany.
Okay, so it's Germany. Yeah. Okay, so the distance is the same.
So you should be fine. If you would really transfer your account to EU West, and it wouldn't be the case, then I pay for your transfer back, okay? If that's the case.
There's
You
no
can,
problem.
no, you can hook me up on that.
It's not the money. It's not like
No.
20 euros. What's that?
No, but I don't want to bait you into it, and then you would have problems, you know.
And would that transfer reset my MMR as well?
You would still start somewhat, like, I think how it works is like your finish is Platinum 4, okay? So if you transfer an account that has a finish in a different region, your concurrent MMR, I think, does not really take place. I think they always go with the finish of the previous season, I think. So you would probably start like Gold 4, and if they go with your concurrent MMR, you would probably start Gold 2, I think. But you will have a fresh MMR, basically. Like, it's still gonna be fresh MMR.
So fresh MMR, yeah, because at the moment I'm losing 22 and gaining 18.
Yeah, it's gonna be a complete new chapter, like, totally.
Okay, I get it.
And I think EU West, you're just gonna enjoy more. The people are more competitive. The matchups are more interesting. You're gonna learn a lot more. Trust me.
You're making me think about this real hard.
No, you should really do it. I'm not even joking. You know, I have an account on EONE as well, right? Like the one I'm logged in right now.
Yeah,
And
the Basket avoider.
Exactly. And after like, I'm not even joking. The people don't know how to play matchups in Changer. The people don't make good decisions in Changer. It's if you would get master on EONE, I don't want you to like learn so many, like, obviously, like, you're still gonna learn the game the same way in a way, you know, but all the matchups, you're gonna get away way more with like making bad decisions. And it's not like that the achievement is less on this server, but one day if you hit masters on EONE, you wanna play EU West because you hear all of these things, and all of these streamers, you know, and all of these people you could face on EU West. Every person that plays on EONE and got high on EONE at some point went to EU West, because on EU West more competition, higher LP cutoffs, better players, all of these like people, you know, all of these streamers, whatever it is. So I would really advise you to do it now, you know. It's better to start now. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of about that. But I hope you really enjoyed it, today's session and stuff, because I enjoyed it. I always enjoy talking to you. It's always fun.
Yeah, and I learned a lot of things, right? Oh God. I have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
process all this and let it cool down so I don't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I mean, the thing is, like, for you, like, bro, you have a real life, you know, man. There's a difference. Like, I don't know, there's some people that I coach that can play 2,000 games per split because either they're still university gaming or they're like school gaming or like they're like apprenticeship gaming, you know, like just new at the job or whatever, you know, and they're really like fixated on it, you know. But bro, you got your life together, you know, like I don't want to say you have a disadvantage because of that, but you have because,
Yeah, but I have
you
well
know,
always the kid I take the kids to kindergarten in the
yeah,
morning.
yeah.
I go work. I come home at like 5. I do some gym. I make food for tomorrow.
Mm.
Play with the kids,
Yeah,
etc. With the wife.
you know,
And after 9 o'clock they are asleep, and I then I get to play 2 games of League, and I'm exhausted
yeah,
as fuck.
yeah, and honestly, like, if you're already playing League when you're exhausted and you're not playing consistently, which is the biggest part of League of Legends, because as you know, all 2 weeks there's a new patch, there might be a new champ out here, and there are changes like everywhere, you know what I mean? And if you're not really at the state of like playing fundamentally correct and decision making wise correct, if you if you're not there yet and you're already like having a really like time expensive life in terms of like real life, this all of that, you know, that's hard to actually get there. But I'm pretty sure you could because you're playing enough. Like you still have, even though you have so many things in your life, you're still managing like 350 games right now, right? And
Yeah, so far this year.
and if they are really put, if what you should aim for is like not play one day 6 games, 8 games, maybe, you know, however you have time. Maybe really consistently, if you really care about it, build in the time, even though it's hard sometimes. I know, you know, some things, you know, it's also hard to say to your family, yo, every day at this time, I'm gonna do what I wanna improve on. That's not how a family works, you know. There are always compromises, you know, like you always like, that's not how it works, you know, like when you have a
Yeah,
kid, when you have
sometimes
like family.
you have to
Exactly.
watch a movie with the wife and
And
shit.
and you know, and sometimes you just gotta make sacrifices, you know, and which are not sacrifices. Sound so horrific, right? Because like you're spending time with your family. It's not a sacrifice, but you
Yeah, but
need.
you want to do both.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what you should do is like really aim towards that goal that you can always play like 2 to 3 games per day. Maybe one day not, you know, maybe however, bro, you know, then but always like with your timetable, maybe consistently hit that like, let's say if you play 2 games per day, let's say like hit 10 to 15 games per week always, you know. Maybe one day not, but maybe one day 1 game more for it, you know. Like I think if you have that, then you at least can like kind of like grasp on the things we're looking up always, you know. But I think like if you like don't play League for 3 games now, 3 days now, I mean, then you can't grasp onto these things that we just like learned, you know, because it's difficult for you to remember all of the things and really put them into like, you know, where they should be.
Yeah.
So that's always like the thing you gotta ask yourself: do you have the time? Do you want to put in the time? How much value does this game give you? How much value does it give you to improve? You know, that is always like, I'm not telling you you should quit or anything, you know, but I just want the best for you. And it's important to really like be time efficient and really like do, even though you have a family, do the things you really want to do, you know. Just because you have a family, that obviously means that you need to make compromises. I'm not here to teach you whatever, you know better than me, bro. Like, I'm a noob. But if you have goals and you have dreams, you still gotta fully fill them, you know, because that's what makes a happy father, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You have
I mean,
to
you got
put
this, bro.
things in balance.
Exactly. I mean, you got it, bro. If I had a company, I mean, I have a company, right? But it's a stream, you know. If I had a company IRL that considers real work, and I would have a family on top of that, I don't know if I would still have the time for League. I don't think I would even play a singular game of League of Legends. Therefore, I think we gotta shout you out some respect for that. You know, trying to balance all of these things. Like that,
It's,
that's difficult. I would go down, bro. I would either get depressed or like I would just be happy and not touch the game, you know. Me
yeah,
myself.
sometimes I'm happy, exhausted, and I tell my wife, okay, I go now play and have a relaxing day playing League in the night, and she says, you never relax when you play the game, you get rage real quick.
Yeah, no, but legit, bro.
So it's
W.
not relaxing, but it's another exhaustion after an exhausted day, but somehow you still want to play it.
Nah, bro, but W, Arak, you know what I mean? Like, legit, bro, that you still find the time for that, you know, and you're like a family father, you have a wife, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, like, there are people in my chat that are platinum while they play thousands of games, while they don't have a family, while they are unemployed, which is not a problem, you know, it's fine, you know, it's fine. But, you know what I mean? Like, that takes some responsibility as a human being, which not everybody has yet. We're not at that level yet. But at W, bro, W, like, unironic, you can be proud of yourself either way, you know? And good things take
Yeah,
time, you know,
thanks.
and it's gonna be fine, you know? It's gonna be fine. You're in a good way, bro.
I will
Bye.
try. And I'll try to learn a lot and take all the information you gave me and use it, but then not in like a rushed way or something.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need to rush, you know. Just take your time. Family is bigger than anything in life anyway. And health, obviously, you know. Therefore,
Yeah.
that's what's up, you know. Bye, man. Was a pleasure. Was a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, me too. We're gonna book a next session sometime like 2 weeks from now or 3, but I'll write to you on Discord.
Yeah, sure. Let's make also a deal. I made a deal with someone yesterday. Are you down to make a deal? Should I make the proposal first? So
What deal?
my proposal was to Bandit Dragon yesterday that if he hits Master within the end, I don't know till when I said, till the end of this week. If he hits Master, like, but that, you know, if he hits Master, I will gift him an hour for free. You know then. And
okay.
I would make it with you that if you manage when you transferred, if you hit Emerald till the end of the month, okay, no, let's say if you hit Emerald till the 6th, okay, so in exactly a month, okay, if you manage to hit Emerald till the 6th of September, let's write it down, 6th of September. On EU West, if you make the move for the transfer, then I will also gift you 1 hour for free on top, okay?
Yeah, okay.
If that's the case, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. But if you
I
manage
will
that, try your best, you know. Like if that's the case, you know, 1 hour for free. All right.
Okay. Thank you. I
Perfect.
will
Yeah, no
try.
worries. No worries. Even if you don't have the time to play, don't feel pressured. I'm not gonna, you know, perma look at your OPG and pressure you. If you don't have the time, you don't have the time. But if you manage to do it, I will. That hour is on me. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot, and thank you for the extra half an hour. For
No
staying with
worries,
me
man.
and
No worries, man. You
explaining.
know then. No worries, bro. Like for me, it's just important that you are feeling good, that we find some things, that it's a good session, you know, and that you're improving. You know, that's the most important part.
It was
Aye,
a
man.
really good session. I've seen a lot of mistakes and I've seen a lot of things that I can improve on consistency.
Easy, bro. You got this, man. Just keep believing in yourself. You got this, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All
I
right,
will
boss
try.
man. All right, boss man. Then I talk to you at some point, okay?
Okay. Have
And
a good
inform
time.
me on the transfer and
Yeah.
inform me on your first games, okay? I want to see how your placements go. You send me a screenshot when you're done with placements if you transfer, okay? I want to see that.
Okay, I will.
All right. Okay. Have a good day, bro. Have a good day, bro.
Thank you. You too. Bye
See you soon,
bye.
man.